You typed a question, you hit send, and a couple of seconds later, an answer. And for a moment, it feels like the thing on the other side actually understood you. Like your question traveled to some vast library where something found the exact page you needed and read it back to you. It didn't. None of that happened, not even close. Because under the hood, the most advanced AI on the planet is doing one almost insultingly simple thing over and over. Guessing the next word. That's the whole trick, and in a few minutes you're going to catch it happening inside your head. So, if it's just guessing the next word, the same thing your phone does when you type the word thank and it suggests the next word you, then how can it write code that actually runs? Pass a bar exam, explain a joke, and then explain why it's funny. That gap between a trick that dumb and the result that smart is the most interesting thing about this whole technology. And hold one strange fact, somewhere in the story a tiny AI 100 times smaller than the giant model in the headlines quietly beat it. We'll get there. That AI you just used, whether it's ChatGPT, Claude or Gemini, they all go by one name, Large Language Model, LLMs. Same engine every time. The first step already breaks most people's picture. The model never sees your word. It can't read. Before anything else happens, your text gets chopped into pieces called tokens, and each piece becomes a number. Think of a menu where every possible piece of a word has an item number. The word understanding might be 3 items: under, stand, and ing. For one famous early model, that menu had about 50,000 items on it. This is the moment language turns into math. Your carefully worded prompt is now just numbers in a row, and the machine will never know how clever it was. But a bare number like that tells you nothing. Nothing about it says king and queen belong together. So how do you teach a number what a word means? You give it an address. Every token becomes a long list of numbers called an embedding, a location in a giant space of meaning where words that get used the same way end up living close together. Dog and puppy are neighbors. Dog and Tuesday live on different continents. And because meaning is now a coordinate, you can do arithmetic with it. King minus man plus woman land right next to queen. I'll be honest, it doesn't feel like that should work, and in practice it's messier. The cleaner version is half fairy tale, but the deep point survives. Meaning has turned into geometry, and the model's whole job is to look at where all these words sit and make one guess, the next word. So how does it guess? Here is the engine, picture to remember. Call it the betting board. 1 bar for every possible word, all 50,000. And taller the bar, bigger the bet on that word coming next. After, the capital of France is, 1 bar shoots up above all the rest. Paris, 91%. The word the gets a much shorter bar, around 3%. Everything else is just a tiny sliver. The model picks one, glues it on, and the board re-rolls. A single word means 50,000 little bets, weighed all at once. A sentence is 10 rounds of that. A paragraph runs it into hundreds, all in the time it takes you to read the answer. And now, the moment I promised. A betting board is running along with this narration right now, betting on the word I'm about to say. And the way I have built this sentence, that word is pretty obvious. That bar rose before I said the word. If you felt it rising too, hold on to that feeling. We'll need it at the very end. But now, the question this whole video turns on. All the fact this machine knows, where are they kept? A database? No. It's not looking anything up. No filing cabinet, no little librarian. It doesn't fetch Paris, it recreates it on the spot from the pattern pressed into its wiring, which cannot be possibly enough, except it is. To see why, you and I have to separate two things people constantly blur together. There's the one time the model gets built, and there's every time you hit send. Two completely different moments. Building it is the step called training. The model reads a huge slice of the internet and plays a single game over and over. Guess the next word. Every wrong guesses nudges billion of tiny dials a little less wrong, trillion of times over, until the dial freezes. That frozen setup number is the model. The way I picture it, a compression of everything it read, a lossy one. Like a photo saved at low quality, the shape survives, the fine grain is gone. Then comes the other moment, every time you hit send. Every chat you have ever had is just those frozen dials running forward. It isn't learning anymore, it's finished. That step has a name too, inference. Now the reversal this whole story has been building to. To guess the next word well, the model is forced to learn how the word works. Finishing the capital of France means the fact had to get in there somehow. Nobody programmed it, it was squeezed in because it helped the guessing. Nobody, not even the people who build it, fully knows why that works this well. So, it's just fancy autocomplete misses the point. The autocomplete is the trick. Done well enough, it drags a compressed picture of human knowledge into existence, and yet, there's no one in there, no little person who understands. Both are true at once. But a guesser that can't tell which word matters would still be lost. Solving that is the biggest idea in modern AI. Feel the problem for yourself. The trophy didn't fit in the suitcase because it was too big. What's it? The trophy, you knew instantly. Now try being the machine, nothing but numbers, left to right. How would the machine know? The breakthrough is called attention. Every word looks back at every other word and asks, how much do you matter to what comes next? It weighs the whole sentence and logs onto trophy. In 2017, a research paper announced this idea to the world with one of the boldest titles in science. Attention is all you need. Until then, machine read in a strict order, like reading through a straw. This paper threw the straw away. The design it introduced, the transformer, is the T in GPT. There's a price though, and you have paid it. Doubling the text quadruples the word, 4 times as much. That's why long conversation turns slow and expensive. It isn't moody, it's arithmetic. One problem left. Fresh out of training, this machine isn't on anyone's side. It just continues your text with whatever the internet would plausibly say next. Making it helpful took one more move, and it's the most human one in the whole story. Out of the training comes a brilliant mimic, a parrot that has read everything and respects none of it. Ask it a question and it might answer, or hand you the 10 more questions because it has seen that pattern too. It has every skill and zero manners. The fix is people. Bring back the betting board and picture human hands on the bar. When an answer is helpful, its bar gets nudged up. When it's useless, down. The official name is a mouthful. Reinforcement learning from human feedback. But all it means is human teaching it what's good. And now, the strange fact from the beginning comes due. Researchers ran exactly this experiment. They took a small model, about 1.3 billion dials, taught it what people want, and set it against a giant more than 100 times its size. Then they asked real people to compare the answer. People prefer the small one. The raw scale is not destiny. Direction can beat size. Now step back with me and look at the whole machine at once. Strip the mystery away and one shape survives. This machine predicts the next token. That's the engine. And the lesson isn't that it's dumber than you thought. It's the opposite. Just learning to guess the next word forces grammar, facts, reasoning, and code into a frozen block of number. That is the strange and beautiful thing. See it once and 2 gifts come free. First, you finally know why it sometimes makes things up with total confidence. When it hallucinates, it isn't lying and it isn't broken. It's doing exactly its job. Rebuilding a plausible next word from a lossy memory. The photo was saved at low quality and the machine paints over the gap. Second, you stop being either dazzled or dismissive and start using it for what it is, a staggeringly capable pattern completer that still needs you to check its work. If that changed how you see the thing in your pocket, that's what this channel is for. The tech you use every day, taken apart from first principles. Subscribe if you want to be here for the next one. Next time we pull apart AI agents, and the spoiler is, it's this exact same machine wearing a tool belt. One last thing. Earlier you felt a word coming before I said it, remember? So next time an AI answers you and it feels like there's someone in there, think of what's underneath. No library, no little person. A machine guessing the next word. And in learning to do only that, quietly building a compressed picture of our entire world that is worth being amazed by. And it leaves one honest question. I'm hoping you will answer it in the comments. If predicting the next word done well enough can look this much like understanding, then how sure are you, really, that your own understanding is anything more than a better version of the very same trick?